Hey everyone, it's JPC again, and this is episode number 15 of Back in My Day. This one, I'm going to talk about health. I kind of did my little health arc joke with the posts in Discord and on my blog last week. But this one will be a little bit different. I don't want to kind of rehash all of those informational tidbits. Probably just going to spend this one talking about my challenges, my concerns, and what I'm doing about them per each category. So, yeah, let's do that. And typical caveats obviously, this is me and my experiences, and I'd be happy to hear if anybody has any tips or feedback or ideas. Post them in chat, obviously, or in comments below. Um, I will first talk about kind of my schedule and challenges I have, and then what my, let's call it, mm, mm, brain deficiency issues with sleep and nutrition and exercise. And then kind of what I'm trying to do with it. And I plan on providing updates and whatnot to my progress as I kind of work through these. But we'll see what happens. I've done this before. I've done this many times. I used to be a healthy person. Now I'm much less healthy, and it's just a challenge that I deal with. And I figured all the data was out there for how these things can improve performance, but I don't want to talk about that because I'll kind of just be regurgitating those things. And we'll get right into it. Let's talk about sleep first. So I think the first thing for me when it comes to sleep, to be honest, is my schedule. Um, I play my games. So one of the things I have been prioritizing is playing Valorant. And if we kind of discuss that kind of piece, like I want to do those. I want to do that. So I have this want, and I'm aware that it's a want. I have this want, and in order to play and to improve at my play, I have to play every day, right? That's the goal. That's the purpose of kind of the Boomer to Diamond series and the After Hours, and I have to find time to get that in. So schedule wise, I have work, I have kid stuff, family stuff, and then I have my free time, which is at night. I have pockets of free time and whatnot. So right now, the only time that I can play Valorant is after everybody's in bed, which is after 8:30 my time. So if I'm going to play 3 games a night, that puts me into 11 o'clock at times, and maybe a little bit later than 11 o'clock. So my sleep is at the earliest starts at 11 because of just the nature of my brain. And I think a lot of people experience this too. So I don't think I'm special in this regard, but I can't turn my brain off as soon as I'm done playing. I think about the games. I think about the concerns that I had, and if there's any kind of social interaction, if somebody's being a dick, or um, maybe some girl flirts with me. I'm kidding. That never happens. Um, I'm also thinking about those things too. Somebody said something shitty to me, and oh, what could have a better comeback? I could have had a better comeback. Yeah, your mom. No, anyway, I think about those things too. I do have this what could I have said kind of post analysis of social situations as well. So it can get even worse than just the gameplay. It can be that side of it too. And then I struggle with that at work. I struggle with that in other aspects too. So it's not just in Valorant, but I have that. And sometimes Valorant can just take my mind off of the workday, but then I have nothing after Valorant. So sleep wise, I think it starts with having a nighttime routine, which includes once I'm done finding, it probably just needs to be 10-15 minutes of maybe like a meditation period or something. It's something I'm trying to build in and figure out what does and doesn't work, because I have to be able to, when I'm done with Valorant, to be done with it, not just physically done with it, but mentally and emotionally done with it as well. That being said, I think if I could fix that aspect of it, then um, going to bed at 11 really isn't that big of a problem. Even going to bed at 11:30 probably isn't that big of a problem. And what I'm trying to do is wake up at 6, right? So If I can get to bed at 11, then I can still get my 7 hours. If I get up at 6:30, um, 11:30 to 6:30, right? That kind of still lives in that. But I am trying to get up earlier. Right now, I'm waking up past 7:30 some days, because I'm not able to just get to sleep, and I'm not going to force myself to wake up. I think that's I feel worse when I just force myself to get up. With it. Now, I will say that I'm much better now. I used to sleep well past 8 o'clock, and almost into 9 o'clock. And when I was fully remote, and I had to fix my sleep schedule a little bit in order to go back into the office. So I am much better now than I used to be, but I know there's a lot of improvement and opportunity there for me when it comes to sleep. But I think that's what the one fix that I have to figure out. Um, and anything that I can move earlier in the day. So one of the reasons I do want to try to get up earlier is to get some more things out of the way in the morning. I would love it if I could do the mech training first thing in the morning. I think that would be a good like wake up thing. I think that would be great for like a pseudo mental workout um, in the morning. So that is one of my goals, is to try to move what I typically do around 5 o'clock before the kids get home. Um, is the mechs, the movement training. If I could move that to 6:30, I think that would make my afternoons a lot easier, and go from there. But it all's going to start with a post Valorant or post day evening routine that I've been kind of working on and figuring out, but I still haven't activated. Also, playing in houses have been too much fun, and I find myself playing like well into 2 o'clock some nights, and it's causing more and more problems with that. So, um, again, I have to stop playing. I have to cut it off, whether I'm having fun or not. I have to cut it off, and then I have to establish a nighttime, probably meditation routine in order to fix my sleep schedule. So hopefully, my updates as we kind of go through will be about um, getting to bed and getting up earlier, and then kind of how the routine has been helping that. And then if I can move my mechs to the morning, that's kind of for me the success point, that I've been able to get my mechs done in the morning and still able to get to work well before 7:30 or 8 o'clock, between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. So number two, I want to talk about. Let's talk about exercise first. So I do not at this time actively find time to exercise. Um, I I we talk about steps. That's really like, I don't lift. I don't do that anymore. I don't do cardio. I don't do that anymore. Like, I just don't care about those things. But I do try to get more than 5K steps in a day, if that means me like getting at my desk at work, between meetings, taking a 5 minute walk around my floor before a meeting or right after a meeting to try to hit like that number. That's kind of the extent of what I do for exercise, and I need to fix that. Um, Part of the so I'm changing that. I know it's not a big number, it's not a huge change, but I'm going to try to aim for 6,000 steps a day at a minimum. And potentially, I think what I need to do on my weekends when I have the time is to make up any ground that I didn't get within the day. And I think the more that I do that, um, the more that I can start to add in different types of workouts, or not just aim for walking steps. I try to get some runs in. I don't see myself ever lifting again. That's not something that I ever enjoyed anyway. But exercise wise, I would say is the worst of these three categories. Um, I am not the healthiest person and have not been, but for quite some time, um, from that. So I want to start with that. It's potential that there is a potential that instead of doing the MEX training in the morning, I actually use that time to do in the first thing in the morning walks, and then eventually, like I said, possibly become runs. I used to run distance back in the day, so that is something I actually enjoy, and I feel like that's a I can turn that into like a meditation time. I actually just think nonstop when I'm running. So there's benefits there to it too. Um, so yeah, I wanted to go into exercise because I think it's going to be a much shorter segment here. I don't have a lot of aspirations to becoming an extremely physically healthy person. I just kind of want to maintain where I'm at. I guess I can talk a little bit about weight. I'm down from where I was pre-COVID. I'm at around 240 pounds, which I'm not ashamed to talk about because I'm 40 and your weight's supposed to be 200 plus your age, right? Anyway, my goal is to try to get back down to 200, which I think can only happen if I do, again, work out more. There's a diet side to it that I'll discuss as well here in a second. But I would say that my progress, if I was to list a success metric for this, is to walk, hit my 6K average for the week and hopefully every single day, but if not, at least 6K average for the week. Um, and then move into running. And I think that if I get running back in, then I'll consider that to be a success from that side. But then the weight getting down to 200. So again, I'm not ashamed by my weight. I am overweight for sure, but I will tracking through this list how the steps are going, the running progress is going, but also start to list my weight out as well. And hopefully we can improve our physical health together. All right, so diet. Let's talk a little bit about diet. Um, my biggest issue is I don't eat enough. Actually, I have spurts where I'll eat breakfast and then I don't eat again until dinner, and then I gorge myself on dinner. Um, which obviously is poor. Some of that has to do with my schedule and how I kind of exist at work. I tend to start my day and uh, go nonstop. I think that fixing my schedule and giving myself a lunch and then finding a way to eat a light lunch, something, I don't know, salad or something, which I do like salad, so that's not a problem. I think we'll make that better. But gorging myself at dinner ends up being a bigger problem um, uh, than not exercising, to be honest. Everyone knows the weight loss formula is that you burn more calories than you take into your body. So because of the way I kind of eat, I think we're not the healthiest. I would say like we do home cook. Like my wife will grill and do other typical food things. Like we tend to not have an issue with that if we have time. The real question is do we have time? Right now there are multiple days a week where both kids have some practice after work, so we're scrambling to figure out food and we end up picking up something on the way home, right, like Chick-fil-A or something, which we're trying to cut out as well. um uh and it's funny, like all these things I say that I'm trying to fix, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. As I think many of you will be able to acknowledge, we've been trying to cut those things out for years. Um, we have aspirations to do so, but we then let our schedule get the better of us and our stress, which is a big driver to it, get the better of us too. Like we tend to default back to what's the easiest, which is fast food is easy. Not working out is easy. Staying up late and sleeping in is easy. So it's that vicious cycle that uh, we try to get in front of. And as much information as I have and as easy as it would be for me to just make a couple of changes, um, when shit gets heavy, we kind of degen back into the easiest option. So figuring those things out. But I think we have a good benchmark for nutrition, to be honest. It's about uh, you know m- reducing the effort that we have to put on the evening. Um, Again, if both my wife and I can actually find 30 minutes for a light lunch in the middle of the day, I think that our evenings are much healthier. Um, and then again, finding schedules and whatnot to balance that out. And again, we also have to recognize sometimes it's okay. Chick-fil-A is not bad once a week. Um, on Mondays and Wednesdays, our practice, both kids have practices. So that becomes a second day that we would do it. And maybe that's not as bad either if we can guarantee that we're not degenning again on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever, and on the weekends. So time management becomes a very important aspect to even nutrition. And I would probably kind of end all of this with, well, before I go into that. So I don't know there's much of a way to track if I was to provide kind of tracking updates, other than maybe like just my lunch. If I could um, list that remind myself that I had a lunch, I ate a lunch and it was a light lunch, it was a healthy lunch. I think just starting to do that fixes a lot of my nutrition challenges. We don't really have an issue eating right healthy foods, to be honest. We tend to make very good choices when it comes to healthy foods the majority of the time. The biggest issue really is when stress hits. We will devolve into stress eating and finding the easiest option. So um, okay, so my kind of closing, my kind of caveat to all of this is really what it comes down to for all three categories is time management. And I think that time and stress management. And I think that most people, if they really kind of looked at the challenges, if they are having challenges with any of these three categories, it really does come down to time management. And that's really easy. Finding a way to just list out your schedule. And well, hold on, let me caveat that. It's not easy, it's simple. And I know there's a huge difference between the two, especially for this. It's simple. Losing weight is simple. Being healthy is simple, but it is absolutely not easy for people who have never found it easy. Some people just have extraordinarily stressful lives and they have a hard time doing the simple thing because it's easier to do the easy thing, right? So, but I will. I hope that I can list my, I guess, progress with this. And hopefully that's useful information for people. Maybe it's motivating. Um, I hope that it's something that can help you too, as I kind of help myself right, in a sense with it. And I think that the easier that I make my life, the easier I make my wife's life, and the easier I make my kids' life. So there's a benefit to the people around me by figuring out how to manage my time to be healthier in all three of these aspects. So, all right, that's it for this one. Pretty straightforward, short episode. I am going to do the confidence episode that I hopefully can put out for Friday. And we'll catch back up and be up to date on our podcasts. Thank you all for hanging out again. Good luck in your health games, and we'll see you next time. GG's.